The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them. Nightmare on Elm Street. No! Stop! She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails, no one will survive. Help me, please! Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, rated R.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
You will suffer an eternity for this.
How can you listen to television and hear your records at the same time?
Oh, I wasn't listening to the tube, Ma. Just watching. Miss Nude America's gonna be on tonight.
Well, how can you hear what she's going to say?
Who cares what she says?
And who cares what she says? Because that's the whole point of Miss Nude America, everybody. And welcome back to 0 Point Reviews with Kevin and Jeff. That's right. This is our surprise of the month, Nightmare on Elm Street. And if you've been watching the last few episodes, we've given plenty of tips that we were going to be doing a fun one, and it's long overdue on this channel. So thank you all for checking us out tonight. Do us a solid. Hit the like button down below. Share and subscribe us out there. We'd greatly appreciate it. And also participate in the chat because we like our live chat around here. So, God, with that said, this is not one I saw much of as a kid. Kevin, did you? Do you have a first memory of this one, or what do you got for us this week?
This is a great example of stellar and terrible parenting, kids. So back
I like how you said that.
I'm very grateful for it, but it was probably a bad decision. Back in 1986, I was just really obsessed with Freddy. Like, my older cousins were all into the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and they were watching horror films, and I liked horror films. I wanted to watch the 80s horror films and not the 1940s and 50s horror films anymore. So by the time 1987 rolled around, my mom was working for this lady that had a recorded VHS of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, okay.
And she brought it home and she says, "You're going to watch this by yourself in the dark. And if you could still sleep that or tonight, I will eat my words." I watched it twice. Twice that fucking night at 7 years old.
I'll show you.
Yeah. And so, excuse me, since I've been 7 years old, Nightmare on Elm Street's been my favorite horror film, really. I mean, Exorcist 3, but really Freddy's just like, he's my bee's knees.
I can see that. Now, Freddy hasn't always been like one of my favorites. I mean, I like the franchise, no problem. But if you're going to ask me to rate the holy trinity of slasher movies from the 80s, it's between Halloween and Friday the 13th. Not so much Freddy and A Nightmare on Elm Street. However, I do enjoy the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, some more than others, to be fair.
Yes.
But my first memory of this movie, God, I want to say it goes back to about college when I started getting into horror. I don't remember ever seeing these as a kid. Now, I might have seen Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I think I saw I think that was the first one I saw in college, actually, and I went back and rewatched the original set and got caught up with all of them. And I'm like, this is fun. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And watching this again tonight, I mean, I got the DVD set for my dad when it came out years ago. I watched it with him at that point. It's the beautiful, badass DVD box set with all the snapper cases, but it's got all the movies in a beautiful collection.
Yep.
And apologies to everybody out there who ordered the Steelbook collection. You and I are all likely waiting for it to get fulfilled. Not many people got theirs filled, and hopefully it does not get canceled.
Oh no, again?
The 4K Steelbook set, yep. Them grubby bastards. I ordered it on Amazon almost immediately, but they're having stock problems. I don't know
Who
if it's on purpose or it was just super limited and too many people ordered. It's a
who put this
cluster.
one out?
Warner Brothers.
Okay.
They hopefully
makes
they make
sense.
more, or they at least put out a standard set. Now I know there's another set out there that's like in a red case and it holds like most of them, but I want individual cases for individual movies.
Yeah, and I don't think they're the same transfer.
If it's the 4K, it'll be fine. But if it's the standard Blu-ray, it's the same Blu-rays that have been out for years. Which I
Yeah.
have that set. It's in like a case like about that big, and a few of the movies are slammed together on the same disc.
Ugh. Go Blu-ray.
Yeah, I think once you get to part 3 or part 4, they start doing double up on the discs.
Oh,
I'd have to dig it out. It's over here somewhere, but
I could see it with 3 and 4 maybe, or 4 and 5.
yeah, I think that, or maybe that's where it starts, and then after that, it's like all hell broke loose with the franchise with physical media. But yeah, my memories are basically college after I got through like Halloween, then I went through Nightmare, then I went through Friday the 13th all over again. But I had always been a fan of like Halloween and Friday the 13th regardless. So
Yeah.
I think the pullback for me was like, this guy actually has a voice, he's a character, and it's more dreams. And I was very anti like exorcist kind of movies, demon possession things. And I don't know, something about Elm Street just never always like clicked with me until I actually sat down and watched them all. And then it became one that I'm always going to have in my collection.
I loved the mythology of Freddy. Freddy had, from the very beginning, there was a mythology, and that's what's very important in horror is you have to have a mythology to make your creature scary. That's where I think The Ring kind of failed, because you didn't really have the mythology of it. Like you have Pootie Tang, or not Pootie Tang, Scary Movie 3.
Pootie Tang.
Scary Movie 3 explained The Ring better than The Ring did. The video that she watched that she was going to die in 7 days, she accidentally rented Pootie Tang.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Soul Plane, but whatever.
I didn't watch Soul Plane, but I do love Pootie Tang. I'll never say an unkind word about that flick. Pootie Tang. Anyway.
Pootie Tang.
I loved Freddy. I loved how personal he was. I loved how sadistic and evil he was. And I loved how much glee he took in scaring people. And maybe it was because I was bullied as a kid. I imagine psychologically that's what it was. But I liked that. I liked what he had over people. And I just thought it was so cool. I loved his progression. None of it was ever as good as the first, but I loved Freddy's progression going from the boogeyman that he is in part 1, which we'll get into, of course, but to the pop star that he later became, say, by part 4.
Okay, yeah.
By part 4, he had catchphrases.
Oh, yeah. He was like super like witty and clever and always trying to drop a quip just before he got his kill on.
Yeah. And by the time you get to part 6, then it's a Looney Tunes horror film. And you're just kind of like, I'm still here for this. I don't know why, but I am.
They do get more creatively interesting when it gets a little more comedic like that. But I also would argue like the first, like, especially this first one is incredibly seriously taken.
Yes.
And so when he does deliver some sort of something comedic, it comes with the little evilness behind the tone and the inflection that only Robert Englund could provide for that role. And it's no wonder he became a freaking icon of the horror franchise.
Absolutely. Like he owned this. He took that character from what Wes had in mind and created something on top of it. Like took Wes's idea, had that as a foundation, and then added more to it, added more depths and layers to Freddy. Not that those were good depths and layers. They were all evil and wicked, but you know, he put thought and effort into it, and it was brilliant. Sadistic, but brilliant.
Oh yeah, and I'd argue this is probably one of Wes Craven's best movies, honestly.
This is Wes Craven's best movie. Wes Craven's got like 3 good movies, and this is one of them.
What are the other two?
I'd say Swamp Thing, and either The Hills Have Eyes, the original, just because it's classic, or Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
See, you could get me for The Hills Have Eyes, and I would give you Swamp Thing, but yeah, I'd probably go with you on that.
Oh, wait, no, I apologize. Shocker. Shocker was dope.
I'm kind of iffy on that one.
Oh,
dude, I've said that before on this show. Come on.
I know. And I had to before too. Mitch Pileggi was just dope in that movie.
He was not the problem with that movie, in my opinion.
No,
That's
no.
all I'm going to say about that. I have many other problems with that movie.
It was just a weird movie.
It's a weird. Well, and that's part of the problem with some of like Wes Craven's like later movies is like, what are we doing here? This isn't like even that great of a script, and I know you're better than this. I'd almost argue the same thing with like John Carpenter's later movies too. It's like, are you guys like only collecting a paycheck here and half checked out? Because you used to be like super inspired and very like clever with like your directions and everything you did with your movies.
Yeah.
And that's not to badmouth any of them. It's just that's
No.
how the career trajectories went. Like, whoop, it's a roller coaster, and then it dips on the back end. That's happened with every other director. I'd even argue the same thing about Spielberg. You know.
Yes, actually, pretty much anything past Schindler's List is.
And depending on what you like and don't like. I mean, I liked Minority Report. That was pretty all right. Which we covered.
We did, and I've just recovered.
That was over a year ago.
I know.
Kevin.
I don't like Tom Cruise, but
I don't either. But that was actually a pretty good movie.
Les Grossman is anyway. That's a 0 point.
We will do Tropic Thunder at some point just for fun.
We're gonna get in so much trouble.
I don't care. It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. But anyway, Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. I totally missed this. Obviously, I was 4 years old, but by the time 7 years old came around, I was hooked. And 2 and 3, I think, were already out at that point. And so once I saw 1, I immediately went to the video store and rented 2 and 3. Didn't really care for part 2. Loved part 3 until the end. But we'll get to that at some other point.
Is that Dream Warrior?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is awesome. It's got everybody we love in it.
I enjoy that one.
Until the very end. And I'm just kind of like, for real? Really?
Hey, at least this one has a reference to Evil Dead in it.
Yes. Yeah. And that was one of the things I absolutely loved about these old movies is they would put nods to one another. The directors would nod to one another. And Wes and Sam were the two that did that the most, I think.
I wish they would have collaborated on something together. I think that would have been freaking killer.
Wouldn't that have been so cool? Like that would have been fun. Because I know they
brought like Wes into an Evil Dead movie, and then I would have had Sam go over and do a Nightmare movie.
That would have been cool. That would have been strange as fuck. To have Sam do a dream sequence or a nightmare sequence would be cool.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's the dream theme right there, is what I call that.
Sam's just brilliant.
I wish he'd do a more legit horror movie again. But
yeah, without crowdfunding. Come on,
or do a shadow movie he's been wanting to do for decades, you know.
Whoever owns that, Warner's, I think.
Last we heard, he had the rights to it, but it's about to hit public domain in a year or two.
Oh, interesting.
My guess is that at this rate, he's just waiting until it
Doesn't
is
have to be
public
paid for.
domain. Possibly.
It sucks.
We'll just have to wait and see about that. But Kevin, I think it's about time we start talking about the good of Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984.
All right. Let's talk about the man. This is not the first of the 80s creatures or 80s monsters, but this was arguably the most popular one. This is the one that made the biggest splash. This is the one that made his name in every single household. Whether you watched horror films or not, you knew the name Freddy Krueger. And Wes came into this with Bob Shea having a dream to make this picture. And like it was just anything that they could do to get it done. They believed in this story. They invested so much into it. They wanted to get this done. And when they came across Robert Englund, they were just kind of like, no, because initially it was supposed to be David Warner playing Freddy Krueger.
Really? I never was that in like that Never Sleep Again documentary or something?
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of like behind the scenes I don't know. This is like the one franchise I'm a little bit behind on knowing some of the information. Like I've seen Robert's biography and I've caught things here and there, but I did not know about David Warner.
Yeah, they wanted, because the nightmare that Wes had, or the experience that he had, was the older man out front of his house that looked up at his window and just pointed at him, and it scared the shit out of him. And so he had that old man in mind, and then kind of gave it the fire, twisted face, and whatnot.
And the red and green sweater.
Yep. And the reason why they had David Warner in there, of course, is because he was such the great actor. But at the same time, they were like, but old people kind of have this comforting feel to them. Like he wouldn't be menacing. So when Robert came in, they really didn't think that he would gonna fit the role because they had an older man in mind.
Okay.
Robert came in and understood what posture was, what his silhouette would look like, and how to intimidate people. And that changed everything right in there. They stopped looking for an older gentleman. They didn't care that David Warner had to back out, and they went with Robert from then on, like with full faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense then.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way Robert comes into this movie is like a complete element of chaos. And different style actors, different style directors. This was the right combination. So I could see how David would maybe have handled this a little bit differently on how he would have played the character. And I don't think it would have fit, to be fair. And that's nothing wrong against David. Like, he's fantastic, but like, to pull off this sort of character, you need somebody who's a little more
energetic
and chaotic.
Yeah.
And Robert's been a proven actor throughout his entire career. He actually is a good actor.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know that. They just see Freddy and that's all they see. It's like, no, he's got chops, and he's also very personable in real life. Super charismatic, loves his fans. He's actually got the longest lines I've ever seen in my life for anybody at a convention.
I imagine so. I would give anything to meet him other than waiting in those lines, because I know I'd be the last one to get there. And sorry, the line's closed.
Well, he was here at the Mad Monster Party in Arizona this last time, and when I went, I got there and somebody was walking in with me. They're like, "Are you here to see Robert Englund?" I'm like, "To see him? Yes. To actually meet him? I'm not sure about that." And he said, "Oh yeah, they got rid of the tickets last night at like 1:00.
Jesus Christ.
In the morning." They're like, and then everybody's been turned away for the rest of the weekend. It's like, well, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to get a chance to get an autograph or The only other option would have been a photo op, but then you're only there for like 3 seconds. Hey, how you doing? Smile. Okay, bye.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you really get like limited time for that. So,
you know, the Ninja Turtles and Judith Hogue and Master Shredder are going to be up in Seattle, I think in January.
oh,
Should come up.
cool.
You should come up.
I might have another trip going on in January. We'll have to wait and see.
Master Shredder.
Master Bader,
I will kick you in the junk for that.
you're welcome.
And Ken Scott's going to be there. Ken's awesome, dude.
I'm just messing, but
I gave myself my first concussion because of Ken.
I believe you when you say that.
Where they were doing the nunchuck things. Ken was the actor for both Michelangelo and the foot soldier that was doing the nunchuck off.
Yeah.
And before I got good with nunchucks, I was not good and cracked myself in the head quite a few times.
Cracked you in the head a few times.
I wanted to be as good as Ken was. He was awesome. He is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's 0.. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, that's our third one for the night already. So we're racking up the points.
Yeah.
We should actually make that a game on our streams and put a number every time one of us goes off topic.
Like you guys,
and we'll
can
see
win.
who does it the most at the end of the show.
We'll have a pool.
Place your bets.
Place your bets.
Place your bets. But with Nightmare on Elm Street, there is actually quite a bit to like about this movie, and there's a lot of good behind it. Between Robert being an excellent character and a great actor in this one, you have Heather Langenkamp, who's amazing in this movie. I actually think that I always argue your best villain needs to have a equally as good hero/heroine. She's perfect. And I mean, unfortunately, they treat Johnny Depp like a goddamn moron in this movie, which kind of checks. But at the same time, like, most of the cast is actually really good. Nobody really hams it up, except for maybe the opening sequence with the blonde girl. The first, like, maybe
Amanda
is a little like she gets better as the movie goes along. Like, her character gets dialed in until she croaks, obviously.
Right.
But up until that point, it's like, okay, her character's fine. It's not nearly as awkward. But I think that's the whole point of the opening sequence, is to provide something awkward to throw you off on, you think you know what you're getting out of this movie, and you really don't.
Yeah.
So I think that was done on purpose. I don't blame the actress for that. It does start off a bit awkward, and it feels like, does this girl know how to act? Of course she does. That's why I'm guessing it was written that way and directed that way.
Well, the funny thing is Amanda Weiss, I think, was 20-something years old when she played Tina, who Tina was supposed to be 15 or 16. And then she was dressed like she was supposed to be 12 in the dream. So there was a lot of confliction there in that opening sequence. So I definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah. But no, pretty good casting. Excellent directing from Wes. I think he did a fantastic job. And overall, between the music and the overall story, it's no wonder this turned into a franchise and was a runaway hit at the box office.
Yeah, and you got to tip your hat to Bob Shea on that one. That was all Bob.
They invested into this, and that was a smart move.
Yeah, and Bob was a bit a shrewd businessman, apparently, but he had a good eye for shit like this. And
it was only made for like $1 million.
Yeah, and they came back and they did pretty well. I mean, they didn't make them rich by any means, but it did really well, and it signaled to Bob that we have something that we can make a franchise here.
Right.
And
with a villain that actually talks too.
Right, because Michael and Jason didn't. And
never said a peep.
Yep. And by the time you get to part 2, he's still scary, but then they start taking the opportunities to make him a little bit more free and complex as a character come part 3. And then of course come part 4 was full 80s.
Oh yeah, you couldn't escape the 80s vortex of that one at that time.
No, it was
because now you're playing with power.
That was cool.
Well, and the hard rock soundtracks and everything, and this one you didn't get that. You just got a pretty standard soundtrack, but the score was amazing.
It really is. I really do like the score to this.
I noticed it more this time than I have ever noticed it before. And I'm thinking, man, this is low-key pretty awesome.
See, to me, this is just as iconic as the Halloween theme.
It is.
It's as iconic as Tubular Bells, Halloween. Golly, those would be the really big ones I could think of. But like Friday the 13th, I don't think has really the same gravitas to it that this does. Halloween does, but it doesn't. Like the Halloween theme does, but Michael's stalking theme is really just kind of mid-tier compared to this.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's
I love it, but I get what you're saying.
That's where it picks up, where you see his footsteps pick up, but his point of view camera.
Oh,
Did I hear something? Was there something there? What was that sound? It gets old. This didn't really have that at all. And that was one of the things that set Nightmare on Elm Street apart. Like, this was pure suspense.
Correct.
Times where you didn't know if it was a dream or not. And even if it was a dream, you were really on the edge of your seat because you didn't know if these people were going to die for real or not. And
well, that's part of the cleverness of the script. It's like surprisingly intelligent. Yeah. And it's like most of the originals of all these movie franchises for slashers, like you forget these were written as serious attempts at like pure horror.
Yes.
And to throw you off or provide attention, like more atmospheric versus gore versus this, that, and the other. They all balanced them in very different ways. And Nightmare on Elm Street balanced it in its own unique way. And that's why it proved to be successful.
I agree. And that it was a renaissance for horror.
Well, it cemented the legacy of horror movies with Nightmare on Elm Street at this point.
Yes, I think so, because the 70s very well could have killed them.
And it wasn't until Halloween in 78 that it started to resurge.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had some other slasher movies. Then you had Friday the 13th. And then you had Nightmare on Elm Street in 84. And it's like that span of 6 years started to pick up. And then boom, drop of the green flag. And we were off to the races for the next 5 years.
Well, that merged your slasher movie with your supernatural film too.
Correct.
And that's another thing that set him apart, at least at the time, because Michael and Jason were not.
They hadn't gone down that road yet. Yep.
Yeah, they were just dudes, and the movies took place one day after the next. So part 2 is the next night or a couple hours later. Anyway, I don't know. There were just some things that Freddy had on top of Michael and Jason that were just bar none. There was no beating it. And I think
Sicko Creep Pedo, like, oh my God, which they dropped the whole pedo thing as the sequels go along.
Sort of.
We don't want to talk about that anymore. It's like that made him extra nasty. And you wanted to see him get beat.
Yes. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, if you made Freddy as disgusting as he was supposed to be in the first film, by the time you get around to part 4 and 5, it would have been a completely different flick. Nobody would have been rooting for him. Nobody would have wanted the high kill count necessarily.
Hey, you wanted the high kill counts. You went to other franchises like Freddy and Jason. I mean, Michael and Jason for that.
This was not, well, I mean, I guess this was kind of cerebral, but not The first one was cerebral.
Yes, this first one is absolutely cerebral.
Yeah. The second one, even I would say, is cerebral. Come to
Yes.
part 3. No, it's just,
Yep,
it's
but
just a
then
fun
it's
ride.
they start taking the gloves off. Hey, let's have some fun. And
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
No, that's where they were kind of like, you know what? Right now, what horror is about is trying to make the most clever kills, the most gruesome looking villains, showing the most tatas. You know,
Not too much tatas and Nightmare here.
No, not in the first one.
You got a little side boobage, but that's about it.
That's true. But it was Heather, so no complaints. She was one of my first crushes, if not my first crush.
She was pretty awesome. I'd absolutely love to meet her.
Yeah. I still want to see My Name is Nancy. Or is it My Name is Nancy or I Am Nancy? Never Sleep Again too.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
She was working on it when they were making or filming Never Sleep Again. And so by the time that she finished it and produced it, I believe that was the working title, and subtitles was Never Sleep Again Part 2. So, but that one's out of print and super duper hard to find and expensive. But I'd really like to see it because that's all about her and Robert interacting with fans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to get caught up on some of that stuff. That'd be pretty fun to do.
Yeah. And just one of the things about this franchise and its fans, dude, they're all super nice. Like, horror fans are just the best.
Yeah, like 95% of them are like, oh, you don't like that movie? Cool. Let's talk about one you do like. Mm-hmm. Or you want to debate like which is the best Nightmare movie of the franchise. I mean, you can get into arguments. It's all good. It's a shared love is what it is.
Ultimately, yes. Like,
except for when it comes to Blair Witch Project, so fuck that.
Movie's stupid.
Freddy would rip that movie apart, but
the second one was cool. It had an orgy. The first, not so much at all.
I will take your word for that.
Sorry, it was group sex. I was kind of like, well, now they've got my attention.
Break out the lube and let's go. Now, one of the other things that's really, really good with this movie is the inventiveness of the visual effects at times.
Oh, yeah.
There's only a couple of times I'm like, man, I don't like how that looks. And it's when like Freddy's short and stocky with the long, wide arms. And then he starts running down the street and he's still the short, stocky one. I know that's just so they could play the camera trick where he's on the other side and running towards them. And so I'm like, man, that doesn't look that great, but whatever. But a lot of the times, like the Freddy coming through the wall, coming through the sheets, the claw coming through the bathtub, all of those were like, how did they do that? That's actually really impressive. And poor Heather, who had to sit in a bathtub, probably wearing a swimsuit, being like, God, this is weird.
Yeah, with the guy like having his head between her legs for the entire day. Yeah, that was another
poor bastard.
Right. He did not have goggles on, so she had that going for her.
Whew. And all them bubbles.
Right. You can smell it. Pew. Anyway.
But now the visual effects are pretty awesome, honestly.
The visual effects are stunning. And then we would be remiss not to mention the revolving room when we mention the special effects. Yeah. That was so cool. And apparently when they finished filming that, Amanda was so sick and so disoriented that they had to like there was pictures of it. Wes had to pick her up and help carry her off of the set because it just messed with her equilibrium so fucking bad. She didn't know up from down.
Oh my God.
And you're like, oh, you poor thing. And then Wes shows the picture and it's him with no beard, all baby faced and shit, and just kind of holding her like a kid. And it's like, man, no wonder everybody liked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I will say about Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween, if you could get the best copies of it that you can and that has the best special features, watch the documentaries about it, because the making of Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween were just really special movies. Like,
Yeah.
really good stories, a great cast that still hang out with each other and talk to each other. They're still very close.
Very true.
Yeah. So like those two franchises, I think, will always be my favorites.
I'd also throw in the Phantasm franchise and Evil Dead franchise for franchises where the cast and crew still talk to this same very day.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where I would stop that, because name me another horror franchise where everybody still talks to each other. And it's got to be more than 2 movies.
Brad Garp and his daughter.
Chucky.
I don't think so. I really don't think so, because these movies were kind of like the actors. By the time they get to the concert, they're like rock stars.
Well, yeah, and they appreciate the fans too. I mean, I know people start screaming about like they charge how much for this and how much for that. You do have to understand, they don't have to do this if they don't want to. They do it because they like to hang out with the fans. Yes, some celebrities want to go make money, but at the same time, you can tell almost immediately if they're there because they want to or they need the money. The second you look at them, how they're feeling that day. So
yeah.
I've seen it.
And also
the 2 conventions I've been to, I've seen it on the face of a couple of them. I'm not going to name names, but like, it's like, yeah, you're just here for the payday.
Virgil's dead now. You could say it.
I never met him. I don't even know that one.
Lonely Virgil, dude. You never went to that website?
No, I've seen the pictures before. I know who you're talking about, but it's like, I can't say I saw that in person myself. So
no, I never did either. But God rest his soul. That was some fucked up shit.
Oh my God.
So thirsty.
Boom.
And then back to what you were saying about the special effects, the gore and the makeup were just out of sight.
Oh, the Johnny Depp scene had the most blood I think I've seen in a movie outside of like Evil Dead.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be impressive, but not look the way it did.
Yeah.
So it was the set was the same revolving room as Tina's room, where Freddy's pulling her up the scene. But because they had so much liquid and there was only 2 people trying to move the room and roll it on like basically pulleys, the liquid moved or distributed the weight too much too fast, and it all just came pouring out a window, or what was a window. It turned out to be Johnny's bed, and then just came pouring out the bottom of it, and it was just glorious.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that was way better than what it was supposed to look like. Cool.
Oh my God, I love the scene after Johnny's death, and the police are all there and they're putting the buckets out on the first floor because there's so much blood dripping through the ceiling. I don't know why, but that just totally popped me, and I'm like, that's a really nice detail, because everybody's just like, oh my God, how much blood was there up there?
Because you don't always catch. That's one of those details that you don't catch at first necessarily. The first time you watch it, you're like, okay, what's going on?
Well, you blink and you miss it.
Yeah. And then you're just kind of like, oh, this shit's just everywhere, and nobody knows what to do or where to go because it's everywhere, and the parents can't go anywhere. They're in shock. There's no place to turn where there's like normal life. And it was amazing. And it was Johnny Depp, so there was no complaints whatsoever. It gave us Captain Jack.
Do you think he did okay in this movie?
Yeah, I do. Like, for his first movie, Glenn's not a bad character.
He's not in it as much as you think he is. So when we say Johnny Depp is in the movie, it's like Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th. He's in it for all of like 15 minutes.
Exactly. He's a bit of a plot engine, He
Yeah.
helps things move along, but then he is just part of the body count. But in all fairness, he might be the most glorious of the bodies. Not like sexy wise, but that kill was just dope. It was cool.
Well, and he would later be Edward Scissorhands, which I always kind of looked at as like an homage to Freddy in
Yeah.
some ways. And in my head canon, I know they're going to end up rebooting this again at some point. I would not be opposed to Johnny Depp being Freddy Krueger.
That'd be cool.
Stage. I think that could be very interesting, actually. It'd be a different dynamic. And he can play a nasty character. I've seen him do it in movies before. He can get to that level. He hasn't had the need to do it since he's done Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, no, not really. But yeah, he's
like if you've seen Brasco in some of his other like harder movies where he plays not a great guy, he can do it. I don't think he likes to do it, but I think it would be great to have him come full circle and be the new Freddy for like just a trilogy. Cap it off. We're good.
That would be cool as hell. Like he had a cameo in part 6, and I will always appreciate that. But I something like that I think would
which
be
really, I did not remember.
This is your brain on drugs. Clang.
Yep. I think at that point he was doing like 21 Jump Street, about ready to jump into movies.
Yeah, I think so. He was getting pretty popular at that point. That was about 91.
Oof, yeah, he was.
So it was right around the time of Edward Scissorhands.
Yep. And once that happened, like he was off to the races after that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Tim Burton.
Oh no, I like Johnny. I like his oh god, I'd have to look up what the name is, but he did a raunchy sex comedy back at that time too.
Ooh, kinky.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Raunchy sex comedy.
Riveting podcasting, everybody.
Well, I mean, we are quite riveting.
Early film roles. Here we go.
Early film roles, almost pornography.
Private Resort.
Private Resort. See the word private's in there. That's fun.
1985. He did that just after this movie then. And he does a really good job in that too. So just saying.
Glenn
and that's my 0 point for the evening there too.
Glenn wasn't the greatest character per se, but Johnny didn't do a bad job portraying him. Like he was
correct.
Way more believable than God, I can't think of the other male character's name. Tina's boyfriend. Rod?
Oh. Yeah, I think.
But see, the actor was having issues he was fighting substance abuse at the time. And
okay.
So I mean there's times where he's just like totally sweating and crying, and it's because of other
withdrawal
things
or whatever.
Yeah. So like he wishes he can go back and do that again and give it a better try. And you know what? I think if he did, he'd probably knock it right the fuck out of the park, because he already did a pretty fine job playing Rod. Hey, all right.
Hello, Campu fun.
So
he was all choked up. That's how he ended up getting off.
That was fucking cool too. They Epsteined his ass.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
And Freddie just kind of got that look like, it's going down.
Yep, I got y'all. You have a favorite death scene? Now that we're talking about some of that,
gosh, I would say Tina or Glenn. Tina's because the terror of not knowing who was there, seeing it from Rod's point of view, like the knife marks, like he says, all open up at the same time. I love that terror factor there. Like you're not sure what the hell is happening. She's up on the ceiling and then being swung around at him and knocks him right the fuck out with her head. Like, it was so gruesome and terrifying, to the fact that it's scaring the greaser boyfriend that's fucking all doped up already.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
He looked like
one.
he was having like, what the hell is going on in here?
And he knew they're gonna blame it on me. Well, maybe if you didn't fucking drink so much at 16
and smoke cigarettes. Ugh. Mine might actually surprise you. It's Marge Thompson's death. Heather's mom in the movie.
Which one?
The one where Freddy's on top, goes on fire, and hauls her down to hell.
That was really pretty, wasn't it?
Especially in front of her dad, who's like, "Oh, what the hell is going on around here?" He was completely baffled by, "Oh shit, this is fucked up."
You see the guy that,
and John Saxon is freaking awesome in this movie.
Oh golly, Saxon's just awesome in everything except for
hell yeah, he is. He's the man.
Except for Mitchell.
Oh God. Whatever.
Mitchell. I don't know. Like, there's something probably kind of satisfying in watching someone drag your ex-wife to hell. Here's kind of like, that's one less alimony check for me. Who
was boozing it up the whole movie too. I loved how she had hidden bottles of vodka or whatever it was, like freaking everywhere in the house.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know what the price of liquor was back in the 1980s, obviously, but vodka's rather.
I bet.
Yeah, vodka's pretty.
It wasn't Smirnoff.
No, it looked like Grey Goose, dude. It was a fucking glass bottle.
Well, it was the
80s,
funny design on it. Yeah.
Yeah. But and she was just sitting there just like hawking it like it was a soda.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like me with like a zero sugar Dr. Pepper. And I'm just like, dunk, 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 dunk.
It would have been perfect if she would have burped.
Oh
just
God.
Like taken like 4 swigs and then burped and gone, oh.
Well, then you feel it through your nose.
Mama,
and it feels like your throat's on fire at the same time. Old party days, most of us who've had that kind of thing and done that, you know how that feeling goes. Like, oh. It's like having a glass of moonshine.
My baby brother, he came to stay with me and my cousin Lawrence when I was living with Lawrence for a little while when I was 19. And we had just acquired a very large collection of alcohol. And
acquired.
The guy wasn't going to use it anymore. Anyway, he didn't drink anyway.
Statute of limitations is over.
Yeah. So this guy that the Hells Angels had hanged, we were working for. We were running cars, and we didn't realize that the cars didn't belong to the dealership that we were moving them for. So we got the hell out of there. But before we did, we took all the liquor that he had stored up in his garage that was also probably stolen because it was all like holiday cases and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
It was amazing. We had booze for months. But anyway, my little brother,
Kevin Smith.
My little brother comes down to visit us, and mind you, so I'm 19, so my brother's probably like 13, 14.
Oh no!
He's looking through all this shit that me and Lawrence have, and he's like, "Oh man, Aftershock! I heard that's good." And we're like, yeah. I'm like, I really don't want this on my conscience. And Lawrence is like, dude, one shot and he's not going to have it anymore. I'm like, yeah.
One shot, he'll probably be asleep anyway.
Yeah. Well, he was just figuring that the taste was going to kick his ass.
Yeah.
And we told him,
oh no,
exhale. Don't take a drink and just blow it out like fire. Just remember, like fire.
Oh,
no. My poor brother. Never again. I don't think he ever drank aftershock after that.
Oh my God.
That's one of those drinks where you just like you said, you exhale. You don't fucking breathe it in afterwards. You exhale. Give yourself a moment to exhale a little bit more.
Yep.
Hello. And then try to go about your business. Otherwise, no, you're going to like choke yourself out on fumes.
Oof. Ouch.
Sorry, Sean. I didn't mean to tell that story.
Yeah, but you did it anyway.
Yeah. He did not get sick.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Now, is there anything else that you like about Nightmare on Elm Street, Mr. Kevin? I mean, we could talk about the good stuff on this movie for like another hour, but
again, just to cap off on the mythology of it, this sets every other horror film apart in a way where this just already came pre-established that it was a ghost story. I mean,
Yep.
Friday the 13th kind of was too, but it was a ghost story with a real ghost that was really killing people. And it had a pre-established mythology. And with that pre-established mythology, they built more mythology on top of it. And that's really one of the shining points of this movie. And it's unparalleled for its time.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic movie, and it's got an awesome script with a great director and an excellent cast. I mean, what more could you wish for? I mean, he delivered a grand slam, and franchise is off to the races after this.
Someone close to me says that they were part of a dream study because they had a sleep disorder, kind of the same situation that Nancy underwent when they were
No doze.
Yeah, the no dose, and then what? By the time you get to part 3, it's Hypnosil.
Hypnosil,
yep. But no dose was cool shit back in the day. Not that I
never tried it.
Yeah, it's basically like those killer bee things that you get at the gas station.
Gotcha. Like stack of 2.
More caffeine than you should take.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So that was the good. How about, if any, the bad?
I really got nothing bad about this movie, other than a couple of the visual effects I mentioned earlier, with Freddy being looking like he was like a kid Wolverine with the big long arms, and then chasing down the street. Other than that,
he had
I
shoulder
have no
pads.
problem. Well, yeah,
they put him in shoulder pads.
but no. Otherwise, I think this is pretty damn good. You got anything? I mean, my nitpickiness would only extend that far. I mean, I know some scenes kind of jump around and there's plot holes, and even Bill S. Preston here has got a comment. You know, some of the effects are dated now, but they were great back then.
Sure.
And some of them still hold up pretty decent for the practical side. The more visual, messing with, camera angles and splicing things in. Yeah.
But see, I don't know. It was still good to me. Like, the only special effect shot that they really had was where he disappears at the very end, sort of. Or disappears when he's trying to attack Nancy's back. Mom dying at the very end, getting pulled through the window. Yes, that was
a bit goofy.
Yeah, that was goofy, but it worked. Like they sped it up so it wasn't quite as noticeable, and it made it more violent. And I
love the convertible top too.
Yeah, and that was one of those things that Bob Shea brought to the table, where Wes didn't want to have that ending because he didn't want to have a vague ending. Like, no, she's fine. Like, she gets everything back. And Bob's like, but what if we don't do that?
What if it's a dream and that turns right back into a nightmare?
Yep. Which turned into the shtick for the next 7 movies, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only bad for me now, it was intentional, but the mom's overacting, which was the drunkenness.
Oh, yeah. I see
I want
what you're about to say. Yeah.
I want to say it's overacting, but it's really just being over dramatic. And
Yeah.
it's not overacting. It's the mom being fucking just totally blitzed out of her head. She's a total lush. She knows what she did. She knows that her comeuppance is coming. She knows that her daughter's going to have to face her sins. And
Yeah.
the best she could do is just fucking like booze it up. And so she's like, honey, you don't have to worry. We killed him. Like, she thought she was being reassuring, but she's just drunk as fuck. And she was playing a really drunkard. And watching that as an adult and knowing drunkards, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, that's actually really fucking good. Okay, bravo.
Yeah. Bravo.
So getting past that in my 40s now, finally, I have one bad thing, and it's on this picture here. And you wouldn't think that I'd find anything bad with this, anything in this photo.
Does she need a warm compress?
Yeah. So 4K is not always great, as we've found out several times recently. Like, you could see strings and wires and spaceships and stuff like that.
This is not the only movie I've seen what you're about to discuss in either recently, because I was watching in 4K and I'm like, oh.
They couldn't even try to put some makeup on that thing. And I felt
Like, it was
so
about ready to burst too.
Yeah, it was. It really was. You could tell the color and everything.
Yep.
I'm like, stop it.
Poor girl.
Stop it, Kevin. You're a bad man. That's your crush. And then I feel bad because my crush, who was 10 years older than me, is now 25 years younger than me. And I'm like, oh man, this is
Cradle robber.
messed up. Yeah, like I don't feel okay watching this movie anymore. Just show me one that has boobies. Like, where's the boobies?
Yeah. Well, I guess you could point at that and say, yeah, I guess the lack of boobage, it didn't really fit the standard protocol for horror movies at this time, where every one of them was doing a lot of boobs and a whole lot of gore and a whole lot of drugs, a whole lot of swearing. This one kind of pulled back a little bit on its own self-restraint. It wasn't like the MPAA was like, hey, no boobs, no, none of this. At this point, they weren't really getting that wild, and a lot of the death scenes in this were relatively tame or exceedingly like comical.
They were tormenting is what they were.
I mean, I'm sure they cut some stuff out for the MPAA, but
yes, I'm sure. But see, like, the 70s was tormenting. They would show people being tortured.
yeah.
This showed Freddy torturing himself in order to torture you, like cutting off his fingers.
Hey, let me show you something.
Yeah, like, he will freak you. He hurts himself because it's gonna terrify you, and that gets him off.
Yep.
Brilliant shit. But otherwise, no, I don't actually have a bad to this movie, other than, yeah, 4K doesn't look as good as it did in VHS. Whoopity shit. Otherwise,
some things could be hidden.
Yeah, this has always been one of my favorite movies. It is one of my favorite movies, and I'm sure I will die with it being one of my favorite movies. I need to get it on 4K. I had the whole box set on VHS. I have the box set on DVD. Skipped out on Blu-ray, but I definitely want the 4K set.
Blu-ray was just standard with the movies and utterly cheap. It's clear they didn't put any effort in, and now that the 4Ks are coming out, everybody wants a definitive edition, and we're all now waiting again. Yeah, it's too bad. I was going to actually link to the Steelbook box set in our description, but you can't find it anywhere in stock, actually. It's too bad.
That sucks.
Yeah, I can double check. I actually got asked today from Amazon, are you willing to wait? Do you still want this item? It's going to be a little extra time. I was like,
I hate that.
I guess, but it's been temporarily out of stock since like July 14th, the day after it listed. So
Jesus.
And if you just want this first one on 4K, this particular movie, you can get a steelbook of that. It's about $54.99.
Dang a tang. But
Ish.
I love this movie. I really, really do.
Yeah. So
but I don't
want everybody to be able to get this movie because it comes with also 3D glasses for the 3D movie that's in there.
Yeah, it's good shit too. Well, sort of.
Well, sort of.
Sort of. Not really. It sucked.
Yeah.
The movie was fine. The 3D sucked.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Judgment time, Kevin. How about you give us your final judgment and a score on whatever rating scale you choose to use?
God, you know what? I'm gonna give this a perfect. This is a perfect movie for me. This is a movie that defined its generation, like the entire generation almost. It revitalized the horror franchise in a way that nobody thought was going to be a thing. Like, you had your Wolfman, your Frankenstein, your Dracula creatures in the 40s and 50s, and they were popular, and they would have masks of them or costumes to a point, not very good, obviously, but facsimiles of them. But it wasn't anything like when Freddy came out. Nightmare on Elm Street just totally redefined horror. It rekindled everyone's love in horror. It elevated horror from the 70s into what we saw then in the 80s. I want to say Friday the 13th and Halloween also did do that a lot. They did that a great deal. They brought the 70s and 80s, or redefined the 70s into the 80s, but Freddy just took that in another direction.
Right.
That nobody else could really do, with the exception of, say, maybe Chucky. Chucky would have been the only one to hold a candle to Freddy because he had that smart mouth and was interesting to look at. That was the other thing. Like, Freddy's incredibly interesting to look at. He never looks the same way in each movie. So, like, this is one of those movies that I can't say it scared me ever again. Like, I saw it when I was 7. It didn't scare me then. I was forced to watch it in the dark. I watched it twice. I watched it twice this weekend because I love it. I watched it with my kids. Zoe decided to go to bed during Glenn's death. Is he dead? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was glorious, too.
Mm-hmm. Harley watched it. Harley dug it. So I was kind of like, all right, Bones. That's my girl. Yep. So I don't know. I really like this one. I will give this one a perfect flick for me because I look back on it fondly each and every single time I watch it.
Hey, no, that's all good. That's very fair. I'll start with my score. I'm going to give this about a 9. I initially think 8.5, but every time I watch this movie, my score always tends to go up. Like the very first time I watched this movie, I thought, it's kind of about a 7.5 out of 10 for me. But, the more time goes along, these movies age very well for concept-wise and overall quality of writing. Well, especially this first one. And it's basically a classic. So I'm going to give high marks for this. It's a 9. Could it have been a little bit better? That's very debatable. There's nothing I would really change about this. Would have been nice to have had some boobage going on. It's not required, though. This movie never needed it. And I even hate to say that because even one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies, Part 6, has no boobage either. but
No.
everything else in spades. So it's kind of like, you did great with everything else. Okay, no boobs.
we heart babies.
But you know,
The
it's an
80s did
excellent
this to
movie.
me. I'm sorry.
So it did it to everybody, Kevin.
Sorry. I have no shame.
I know you don't, and that is okay. That's why you're a co-host on this show.
Thank you.
And you know, it's got a long-standing history with Evil Dead. There's the debates about whether somebody's a deadite or not, and the crisscrossing of items into other shows, things of that nature. The Necronomicon and like Freddy's Glove and Ash versus Evil Dead, and in one of the movies. I mean, hey, can't go wrong. There, it's like peanut butter and jelly, baby. So
yeah.
and Freddy, Robert Englund, so iconic, so wonderful, and so evil at the same time. Like there's no denying the charisma the man had that launched this franchise. Way beyond the script, way beyond everything else. Without somebody like Robert Englund in charge of the Freddy character, I don't think it would have had the same impact.
No, I don't think so. I think you're right. Had it been somebody even with the gravitas of David Warner, would have broken this movie. I don't think it would have gotten off the ground. Warner wouldn't have wanted to do a sequel. I sincerely doubt. Maybe
Wouldn't have it made any money.
Maybe, but
not as much as this did.
No, golly, just Robert was so wily and spry and like you said, chaotic. He was just a force of nature.
And that's what this movie required, and he brought it. So
yeah, it was brilliant.
Love this movie, and I'm debating about trying to watch the second one, but we have other things we got to get to this week. So we have Ash versus Evil Dead to season 1 on Friday. So
shit, that's right. Today's
got to get to watching that a little bit.
That's right. Tomorrow. Sorry.
Tomorrow is Wednesday, Kevin.
Yeah, I know. I gotta start watching it tomorrow.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. I'm like, I wish tomorrow was Friday.
I mean, yeah, in a way.
That too.
I mean, I don't think I could binge watch the whole show in a day with my family, but you know, I'd try.
Well, it's not like we haven't seen the show before either, so.
I know, but I likes it.
I know, same as me. So, on that note, you got any other final thoughts before we say goodbye to everyone?
If you want a good trilogy for Nightmare on Elm Street, get yourself part 1, part 3, and part 7. So,
New Nightmare?
Yep. No, I'm sorry. Wes Craven's Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Yes. Sorry. Fuck. Yes. I don't know. I'm tired. Those are the 3 that have Heather Langenkamp in them, and they're a pretty goddamn good trilogy. It's a good beginning, middle, and end.
Man, I haven't seen New Nightmare since I got the DVD set for my dad. That was when I always was like, when I was rewatching them in college and getting up to that point, I'm like, I don't know about this. Because it was like in the same vein as Scream, and I'm like, I don't know.
It was meta. And I appreciate
I have
that.
a better appreciation now, but back then when it was out, I was like, I have no interest.
Yeah, I didn't like it because it wasn't Freddy. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not Freddy. Like, it really wasn't. It was
correct.
whatever monster that inspired Wes to make Freddy. And it was fun. It was still fun. It was more savage than Freddy was. And you bring Dylan in there as the new sympathetic character. And that gives you a chance to even worry about Heather again, because shit, you worried about her dying in the first movie. You got to see her die in the second. And then in this one, you're just kind of like, well, shit, now it's her and her kid. Is she going to survive again? I don't know. But it's a fairly decent trilogy.
Yeah. And Bill's got an excellent point. I love Robert playing himself in New Nightmare. That
Yeah.
is probably the best part about that, actually.
In his Malibu estate painting.
Pretty much. That was so funny.
He's awesome.
He is awesome. And this movie is awesome. And highly recommend everybody go find it. If you have your old physical media, no better time than now to fire this bad boy up. And, you know, if you get into the craving for it, just go ahead and start watching the rest of them.
Did you say get in the craving for it?
Yep.
Sorry, I love puns.
Hey, don't we all? And on that note, Kevin, say goodnight to everybody and let them know what's coming up next.
Oh, gosh. Well, let's see here. Well, we already kind of spilled the beans that Ash versus Evil Dead is coming up this week. So that's going to be fast tracked this month. And along with Ash versus Evil Dead, of course, you know, we can't do one without the other. We're going to be doing Evil Dead. Evil Dead 1. Are we doing Evil Dead 1, 2, 3, and then Rise?
Correct.
Okay.
We're not doing the Fede Alvarez remake because we're getting you to watch Rise finally.
Yeah. I'm getting distracted by somebody right now on purpose. Yeah.
Eyes up here, Kevin. Eyes up here.
Anyway.
Somebody else just scored a 0 point on us.
Yeah, great. Now I have that going for me. Someone else is going to be able to do that to me. That's a fun thing. No one's ever really had that on me before. So thank you, Jen. Yeah. So yes, and then right around with that, we're going to be doing the Evil Dead movies with Fede Alvarez. So definitely check us out this month. October is going to be great. It's our anniversary month, and we've got
4 years, baby.
Yep. We've got some special guests coming up this month that we're really happy to talk to, and we hope you guys enjoy it too.
Yep. And if you like your Stargate, every Thursday night is Stargate night on our channel. We talk about season 4. We're going to be doing Divide and Conquer and Window of Opportunity, the Groundhog Day episode. So if you're interested in catching a little bit of zaniness on Thursday night with the Stargate crew, come on over. We got links on our channel. So on that note, I'm going to wish everybody a good night. We'll see you next week with the Evil Dead, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Like, share, subscribe. Let's go, everybody.
See you, boys.